Hey everybody, my name is MxRheyRhey and welcome to another edition of Abstract Fridays. Today's going to be a little bit different than the other ones because today I'm going to be giving you my own little personal tips and tricks for what I do for oil painting for anyone out there who's trying to get a good start, or at least not start from not from nothing, sorry, I stammer. Today I'm going to be painting a sunflower, a somewhat abstract sunflower. It's not going to have a lot of structure. But today, I just thought it would be really nice, to talk a little like I normally don't on these Abstract Fridays. I'm going to start off this painting with an acrylic base. It's just going to be really thinned out purple. This is kind of common with oil painters. A lot of them also just use really thinned out oil using like a paint thinner like turpentine or a mineral spirit. But you usually want to use something like super thinned out, whether it's oil or acrylic, just because it's easier. And today I'm going to be using these Georgian water mixable oil paints. I got these water mixable ones because I didn't really like working with turpentine too much, and it's just easier to clean up in my opinion. These are watered down with some sort of molecule to make it that way. The colors I'm going to be using today are a titanium white, a lemon yellow, a cadmium yellow hue, cadmium red hue, and a viridian green hue, a yellow ochre, and a burnt umber. These are the first times I'm going to be using these paints. I got them for my birthday. Thank you, my lovely mother. But I just wanted to sort of test these out. I didn't really need the blue or the very vibrant purple that I got. That wasn't a part of the set because of the acrylic base that I have out. Let's see. Sorry, I have like a little timed script here that I'm reading off of to keep me on track so I don't lose focus like I often do. It's a really good idea when you're putting your palette together for your paintings to mix them beforehand. You can always mix like while you're painting, but this really just saves you time if you have an idea of what you're going through. I know if you're usually coming from an acrylic or watercolor background, you're probably used to working relatively quickly because your paints can dry out depending on if you're not using a certain medium or something. But oil paint is far from quick drying. These particular paints that I'm mixing together are still very wet after making the painting. It's like the next day and everything, so like even the painting itself I'm probably gonna leave for like a week before touching it just to make sure it dries properly, because oil, it's a very different medium from acrylic or watercolor or gouache or even the oil pastels a little. It will take forever to dry if you don't use some sort of turpentine or oil medium thinner. I myself in this one am using a fast drying medium from Winsor Newton. You can use regular oil mediums with water soluble oil paints. They mix really well, just the same as oil colors. I'm still using the water mixable ones because it's less taxing on me, and I can't really open my windows very often. Here I'm just sort of sketching out where I want my color to be. I didn't feel like sketching it out before I put the acrylic on, and I really kind of like the oil paints. I like them being loose and everything, so you can do like a really thin sketching layer with your paint so you can get an idea of where you want to put down your color. I tried thinning out the burnt umber with water instead of turpentine, and it kind of works. There really wasn't much blending when I put the real colors on top of it. You can still I already said this, you can already still use paint thinner with these. I just really didn't want to get out of my chair, and also I was having a hard time that day opening paints. I do like to build up my oil layers from dark to light. Like you saw all of like the different shades of yellows and everything. I'm starting off with the darkest, which is I believe is the yellow ochre, and then going up from there. You really kind of want to do that with oil paints anyway. It's I come from a watercolor background, so from there you have to work from light to dark. It's the actual opposite with oil colors. I think that's why I like having both of them as a medium so much, because they're opposite and I have to think differently. But yeah, so it usually helps better with blending when you do so, from working from dark to light, because then you can sort of work with your paintbrush on the shadows, on how your brush strokes like work with the colors. And I can't improvise. My timestamp is in a little bit, but yeah. When it comes to layering, I like to work with really thin layers. I'm not very advanced when it comes to oil paintings, so I don't want to like use too much of it or like use them very thick, because when it comes to waiting for them to dry, they're just sort of sitting there in front of me for days on end, and I can't work with that. The most I've ever worked with an oil painting is about 3 days, and that's because the first time I was just getting an oil painting base layer with all that turpentine, and I really wanted it to dry sort of, and then the other 2 was just because I needed to space them out for a break, because painting with oil or any kind of medium takes a long time. One effect I really love to do with oil painting and even oil pastels is called the stippling effect. It's sort of just where you dot your paint semi-sporadically. It depends on what you're going for, either close together or not. I really feel like this adds an illusion of depth, especially when I'm working with thin layers, and I particularly still do it from working from dark to light. So I'll have the burnt umber and then the yellow ochre, and then later you'll see me do the highlights on top of all of that, but it's still going to be a stippling effect. On the petals, it's not much stippling, as it is just semi-thick highlight layers and everything. I do this also with the shading on certain parts. Just I like having my paint strokes be a part of the painting, very like thick, intentional brush strokes. I do this with watercolor as well, actually. I just feel like it adds emotion and everything to the painting. This is another long pause where I'm trying to just wait for the next cue for me to talk. If you can hear my dogs in the background, I'm very sorry. I'm recording in my closet because I couldn't get silence over at my painting studio, and it's just very annoying because I can't get any kind of good silence anywhere. My closet is the best place technically to record any kind of audio, and even then I still have a finished door where if you can't hear it, I definitely can, and that's very distracting to me. I'm getting off topic from paint. When you're working in layers, you have a method that most people use. It's called fat over lean, or a lean to fat, where you start off with your thinnest layers of oil possible, because those will dry first. So you want to put your thin turpentine or fast drying, medium, mixed oils underneath, and then gradually go up with the fat. So like a plain oil would be the top layer, or there are added mediums, I think, where you can make your oil even thicker. You want to put those last, or as like shadows and highlights as the very top layer, because those will take a long time to dry. And if you put your turpentine layer over the fat layers, your painting will crack and you won't be able to get the exact look in your painting that you particularly want. So this is my sunflower. I hope you guys liked it. I hope my tips and tricks, even though they were personal to me, were very helpful. I don't know how often I will be doing like tutorials or how-tos or like tips and tricks like this, but if you enjoy them, please let me know. If you liked this video, please like this video. Subscribe if you like how I am doing things, and I will see you guys next time. Hostas.